Well, if you can see this and hear this, then the good news is we are live. Well, good news for us, that is, not necessarily for you. That's a good start. Shall we start with the opening theme rather than going back to the holding screen? Cue the theme tune. Yes, live, hopefully. Hopefully that's working now. How are you, Bob?
Well, alive. I keep checking my pulse just to make sure, but I think I'm here in body, mind, and spirit.
Well, we did have a tweet from somebody during the week
Yeah.
who said they hope we've got at least 5 bloopers during the show, and there's the first one from the off straight away. There
You've got to start like that with, as Dennis Norton used to say, a cock up.
Yes, you have. Well, we've got a bit of a fancy setup here. We've got multi-cameras. Shall I show you? We've got this one. We've also got close up here on Mr. Croft, which is very nice indeed. We've also got close up on Mr. Dawes up there. So yes, it's all looking pretty funky. Of course, I've got to do all this at the same time as presenting, so I might let you do most of the talking today.
Well, well, I walked in today. I've just got back from being away, and this is all set up. I have to say, you are something of a genius as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is quite extraordinary setup. You can't see it. I can say viewers now for the first.
Yeah, viewers.
You can't see it, viewers, listeners, and viewers, but it's an extraordinary array. What you can do these days with a Polaroid swinger, I mean, it's absolutely great. 3 cameras, as it says, and the full editing desk, and the only to spoil it is my big head to the right of you. But here we are. We're live. I'm excited anyway.
Good. I'm very excited too. If you want to get in touch with us, by the way, during the show, if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a YouTube comment. We can see those coming up live. So let's have a look over on YouTube. Hello to Rosemary Valdez.
Hello, Rose.
Who has left us a comment there. And onto Facebook. If you leave a comment on the Facebook page as well, we will see that. So hello to Alison Valentine and to Beryl Mayers, who have already posted messages in there. So shall we get back to usual style partners in crime? Shall we have a little chat about what we've been reading this week?
Yes. Do you want to start or shall I start?
I will start, actually. Yes, I finally finished reading the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I've been speaking about for the last, I think, 3 or 4 shows. It's taken me a little while to get through it. It's a big book.
It is. It's a big concept, really, and it's brilliantly executed. Anyway, you're talking about it, not me.
No, it's okay. I've cut to your camera now, so I might as well carry on. Yeah.
All right. I could get used to this. Mr. Dawes' close up.
But yeah, I found it, as you said, a fascinating read. It's people call it sort of Agatha Christie style, and I can see what they mean. But with the kind of the time traveling side of things, and the slightly kind of supernatural sci-fi element to it was something that I've just not seen happen before. It was just I just thought it was astonishing, brilliantly written, and probably my book of the year. He says in January.
I think it's a groundbreaker.
I think so,
and we're not alone, because lots of people think exactly the same. It's got wonderful reviews in every journal and every sort of place where reviews get done. And Stuart Turton.
Yes, I've also been reading this on my Kobo. I'll show you now for the viewers. The Sudden Departure of the Frasers by Louise Candlish. We were talking about Louise Candlish recently with, I can't remember the name for the life of me of the other book that you mentioned, but it was brilliant. And as a result, I've bought a few more of hers. So I've been reading through that one. Still early days on it. I'm 7% of the way through, according to my Kobo. And very much enjoying it.
I love that little thing on Kobo. That sort of lets you know just how far you've got to go. Yeah. If you're having a good time reading the book, it's terrific. If you're having a terrible time, you just go, I'm never going to
finish. I love the fact that you get the cover on there as well. Right. So you don't forget what book it is you're reading. You can see it. Which
we're not that far gone, are we?
Well, no, but on other devices, I've noticed, and other people have said that you don't necessarily know what book it is you're reading.
Oh, right.
because you don't get the cover on the front, and you
Right.
forget what it's called. You go, I'm really enjoying it. I can't remember what it is for the life of me.
Ah.
If you're an old duffer like me whose memory keeps going, then that's another bonus of the Kobo.
Right. So anyway, I'm going to get stuck in now. I've just come back from a cruise.
Oh, you have, yes.
Yes, arrived home late last night.
Do tell them all about it over on camera 3.
Over on camera 3. Hi, I've just come back from a cruise. I'm going to tell you all about it. Yes, I've been away for the last 7 days, myself and Amy. I've been on a talking cruise. I've been asked to do them for years, and I've never been able to do them, and really didn't know whether I'd be able to. I wouldn't have a clue what to say. But they asked me to come on and talk crime writing and talk about my adventures in the acting world or whatever. So I joined the ship in Southampton. We joined the ship in Southampton, sailed across the Bay of Biscay, down the coast of Lisbon, the Atlantic, and into the Mediterranean, passing at 11 o'clock, I think on Monday night, Gibraltar, which just happens to be where I set my books, which was quite nice. I was the only one on deck looking. Everyone else was safely inside the ship, having a good time or going to see a show. I've never cruised before. I'm very much a cruise virgin, and Amy was the same. And we had an absolutely lovely time. But it wasn't just me talking about myself. I decided to look around over the week and see what people were reading crime-wise. How many people were reading crime novels? And
Lots of Adam Croft books on show, I hope.
Yes, I packed one, of course. So I've got some interesting. This is just based on one trip with. I was on a marvelous boat called the Oceana, which is P&O, and my goodness, I have to say they really do look after you. I don't mean that to be an advertisement, but if it comes across as one, there we are. I can't help it. We had a great time. I can recommend them absolutely. So I, first of all, was looking out for crime novels, people who had them on their Kobos or their electronic reading machines, or the wonderful way of just lying there with their books. And I realized pretty swiftly that most men were not reading crime fiction. Most of the readers of crime fiction on board the Oceana were women. The men seemed to be reading fact. In fact, almost all of them were reading fact that I could see, and the people I asked, books like 101 Ways to Change a Toilet Flange, or How to Turn $1 Million on Wall Street Without Leaving Slough. That's sort of
favourite of mine.
Yeah, oh, it is. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. I've never made
not Stephen King's finest.
But... No, exactly. But the one that seemed to come across to be read the most was a book by a favourite of mine. It's not a fiction writer, but is Ben Macintyre. Many of you will know. So if you've got an interest in espionage and spies and skullduggery and what have you, which just crosses into our territory, this might be of interest. The Spy and the Traitor, which is Ben Macintyre's latest, shortlisted for the 2018 Bailey Gifford Prize, shortlisted for the Specsavers National Book Awards 2018, and top 10 Sunday Times bestseller. John le Carré said it's the best true spy story I've ever read. So lots of people were reading that, and I stopped and asked them what they thought, and everyone seemed to be enjoying it immensely. I've got a rundown of it, but I'll probably do that later. As regards the women readers who were reading crime novels, several were reading many. I say several. There are 2,000 passengers on board this ship.
Wow.
900 crew. I mean, it's a big thing. It blew my mind.
How does it not sink?
Have you been on a cruise ship?
I've not. No,
I mean,
my in-laws have recently. I think they did Norway and around there, and they said it was brilliant.
Well, these boats are extraordinary feats of marine engineering. They really are, and very comfortable. And some of the time, you don't. Certainly, if you're in the centre of the boat, you have no idea you're even on a boat. You could be on I don't know. Well, it is. It's a floating hotel. Anyway, women were reading romance, of course, but a large number of them were reading crime novels. And I was delighted to see that among those being read were The Stranger Diaries by the wonderful Ellie Griffiths, Fall Down Dead by Stephen Booth. In fact, a couple from Derby who I was talking to were incredibly enthusiastic about Stephen's books, as are we.
I imagine if you come from Derby, you can get really enthusiastic about anything, can't you?
Well, yeah, you say that. I love Derby.
Big up Derby.
The Eagle Centre.
Big up
It
Derby.
was my first acting job, the Eagle Centre, the Derby Playhouse. I don't know if it's still there. It was a lovely theatre built right next door to a supermarket. But I had lots of fun there. And big Stephen Booth fans. Val McDermid, of course, was very well represented with her new book, Broken Ground, the DCI Karen Pirie series. Dark Sacred Night, Michael Connolly, Harry Bosch was on board, up to his usual investigative tricks. But the book that I saw more than any other was one that I think we've reviewed on. I know we've reviewed on this show before. Former Richard and Judy Winter Book Club pick. It was Let Me Lie by Claire Mackintosh. Another one more chapter stay up late sensation, Lee Child says. A work of genius, Joanna Cannon. No one writes a twist like Claire Mackintosh, says Paul Hawkins, and she knows what she's talking about. I'll tell you what this is about. 1 year ago, Caroline Johnson chose to end her life brutally, a shocking suicide plan to match that of her husband just months before. Their daughter, Anna, has struggled to come to terms with their loss ever since. Now, with a young baby of her own, Anna misses her mother more than ever and starts to ask questions about her parents' deaths. But by digging up the past, is she putting her future in danger? Sometimes it's safer to let things lie.
That sounds marvellous.
So that was the most obviously read book on board, and I spoke to all the people who were reading these books, and they were all saying what a wonderful time they were having. The last person I chatted to just before I left the ship was reading The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths, and she hadn't read Ellie Griffiths before, and I said, well, you're in for a treat, and lots more books in her other series to read as well. So it was very interesting to see. So what we need to do now is get more men reading crime fiction. I've heard this statistic said before, that tends to be the ratio. So why is that? Does anyone out there know? Could the mystery be solved?
I don't know, but I do have another question.
Yeah.
That is, can you do a 9.5 minute segue? Because you mentioned Gibraltar at the beginning of your little run there.
Yeah.
And I was just going to go back to the messages we've got on YouTube and on Facebook, because we had a message from Gibraltar.
Oh, how lovely.
From Emma Nunez, who says, hi from Gibraltar.
Oh, hello, Emma. How are you? There. Yes, I know Emma. How lovely.
Joseph Hassanisi in New York City as well.
Oh, yes.
Who says, nice mug. I think he's talking about these and not about your face. So...
They're a nice touch, aren't they? This is Adam again. Well, maybe he does mean ours.
And on Facebook as well. Estelle Golding says good afternoon. Hello, Estelle.
Good afternoon.
And Alison Valentine says she's reading Hidden Justice by J.K. Ellum, and she also says, where can I get a mug from? So I think maybe what we might have to do, and I've just made this up on the spot, is have a competition for these mugs.
Can I enter?
You've got one.
Well, when I come here.
Well, yeah, you
I'd love to take.
You can take it with you. Yeah.
Won't let me take them home.
Shall we give 3 Partners in Crime mugs away to our favourite 3 comments on either YouTube or Facebook today?
What a brilliant idea! Yes,
let's do that.
Let's just do that.
So
I love this spontaneous giveaway competitions.
Well, everything's spontaneous.
Is this what being live is all about? You get an idea, you say it, and then you can regret it later.
My notes on this are probably about as vague as they normally are for any non-live episodes. So so it's a wonder it's all working, to be honest with you. But let's do that. Anyone, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, then leave us a comment and we'll give you a Partners in Crime mug. We'll pick our 3 favourites and you'll all get a mug. Of course, if you are listening to this or watching it after the live event, then don't worry, we'll make sure that in future episodes you've got plenty of chances to win Partners in Crime mugs. I never thought about giving them out elsewhere. Just for us to drink from and feel really important.
Product placement.
Yeah, all red in the middle, lovely.
Not for profit, these mugs.
No,
just for enjoying coffee.
Yeah,
this is.
Well, in fact, we lose money if we're giving them away to people.
Coffee. It's a lovely cup of coffee. I don't know which camera I'm on. I'm like one of those.
This is your live feed here. This is.
So
if you keep an eye on that, that's what the viewers can see.
Oh, really?
Everything else is.
So when I do that, that's absolutely no good at all. I just look as if I'm.
No, but if I do this and I catch up, I can flick to that camera, but it would take me a second to do that, and I can. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
So of course, people listening to this on iTunes or whatever, in a couple of days' time, are going to wonder what the hell's going on. But you should have been here, shouldn't you?
Well, That's one mystery solved. Thank you very much for that.
I'm going to have a little chat about a couple of things that I've been watching.
Yeah.
Watched Manhunt on ITV. I'm a little bit
Yes.
behind there, I know. Martin Clunes, that was superb. I thought hopefully that's still available on the ITV player or other sorts of places. And I've also been watching recently a YouTube series called You,
Oh,
which I know has been getting a lot of attention. There's a guy called Joe who works in a bookshop in New York City, and he becomes infatuated with a woman who comes in to see him and comes in to buy a book. And he slowly worms his way into her life and finds out all the stuff about her and kind of becomes boyfriend / stalker. It's very, very interesting. And through the powers of being on YouTube now and on Facebook Live, we can run a trailer. Would you like to see it? Shall we see All About You? Here we go.
Well, hello there. Who are you?
Everyone just calls me Beck.
And there you were. Every account set to public. You want to be seen, heard, known. Of course, I obliged. I believe in love at first sight. But love is tricky.
Is this Joseph?
Hey, can we get real for a second? You have questionable taste in friends. I'm going to help you get the life you deserve.
I think I might really like him. You can't be serious.
I'm not a maybe. I'm the one. There are scary people in the world, Beck.
I'm on to you.
Jealousy got the best of me. How exactly does one get rid of a body? The things you do for love. Are you watching me?
Maybe.
Stalker.
Well, I hope that works on audio as well as it worked on video. But
that's rather chuff, mate,
that is
isn't it?
You. That is available on Netflix, and I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of halfway between a really kind of scary psychological thriller. It's all narrated through Joe's head, and kind of I don't know, romancy drama, I suppose. But don't let that put you off. It's definitely well worth a watch.
Like a
I'm really
romantic
enjoying it.
drama.
Mm.
It looks terrifying to me.
It is, yes, it certainly is.
I'm still getting over. We played a trailer.
Mm.
This is absolutely fantastic. I love those American voiceovers.
Technology has really opened up
The
this
new
show, hasn't
thriller
it?
from Netflix. So when's that on? Whenever you want it on.
Whenever you want, it's Netflix.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose
yeah.
you just stream it down.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to be watching that. That sounds absolutely terrific.
Good. Now, it's worth mentioning at this point that any books you hear us talking about on the show can be bought from our wonderful sponsors, Kobo. If you head over to kobo.com and use the promo code CRIME at the checkout, as is along the bottom of your screen just there. Enter that at the checkout, and I've always wanted to do that. And the lovely people at Kobo will give you 90% off of your first ebook purchase.
How
with them. 90%.
Good grief.
Now, you don't need one of these wonderful Kobo readers, which are wonderful. You can read using the free mobile device. Mobile app, sorry. Download the free Kobo app onto your smartphone or your tablet or whatever you want. That's completely free, and get your first book with 90% off. You can't say fairer than that, can you? Oh, look at that, a live whistle.
Yeah.
Aren't we being treated?
Just shows everyone that I do my own whistling.
Yes, he does. We don't have a stunt whistler.
So, well, I've got another book review.
Go for it.
Yes, this is one that's been recommended to me for a long time, and I haven't. My Eric Morecambe's are on. It's A Snap by Belinda Bauer. Now, Belinda Bauer grew up in England and South Africa and now lives in Wales. She worked as a journalist and a screenwriter before finally writing a book to appease her nagging mother. Well, we all find our reasons for writing our first books, don't we? And that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
With her debut, Blacklands, Bauer was awarded the CWA Golden Dagger for Crime Novel of the Year. She went on to win the CWA Dagger in the Library for her body of work in 2013. Her fourth novel, Rubbernecker, was voted 2014's Theakston Old Peculiar Crime Novel of the Year. Her books have been translated into 21 languages. She also wrote the thriller High Rollers under the pen name of Jack Bowman. So, and this is what it's about. On a stifling summer's day, 11-year-old Jack and his two sisters sit in their broken-down car waiting for their mother to come back and rescue them. Jack's in charge, she'd said. I won't be long. But she doesn't come back. She never comes back. And life as the children know it is changed forever. 3 years later, Jack is still in charge of his sisters, of supporting them all, of making sure nobody knows they're alone in the house, and, quite suddenly, of finding out the truth about what happened to his mother. Snap is the best kind of crime novel. It gives you chills, it makes you think, and it touches your heart. I loved it, said Sarah Pinborough, #1 best-selling author of Behind Her Eyes. Claire McIntosh said, original, pacey, and thoroughly entertaining. A cracking read. So there it is. Snap by Belinda Bauer. Been recommended to me from several people. In fact, one on the Oceana, who said I should grab that, which I haven't yet, but I certainly will by the sounds of it. Just my cup of tea.
That's been recommended by quite a few people, actually. I've seen that book everywhere,
Yeah.
Snap. So well worth getting a copy of that from Kobo, of course. Let's pop back over to the comments and see what people have been saying over on Facebook and YouTube. Estelle says she caught up with Manhunt yesterday and it was brilliant. Alison Valentine says your whistle was perfect.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much.
She's also been watching you on Netflix and it's got her hooked. And a couple of people actually have been asking when my new Kempston Hardwick book is coming out, which is very nice. And I promise I haven't just made that up. They have really been asking. I'm about halfway through. So yes, I'll certainly keep you posted on that. James says hello as well. Yes, Joey pointed out that the audio on your camera had cut out. That was completely due to my mistake, but won't happen again. So
well,
yes.
I don't want to tempt fate, but I'm ever so impressed so far with the way you're doing this. It's equivalent of sort of, what do you do? Patting your stomach and rubbing your stomach and patting the top of your head, really. You're doing two things at once.
It's something you can't really test as well.
No,
because as soon as you hit the go live button, you are live. You can't, really test it.
You can't worry about it. It's one of those Sundance and Butch things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the full killing.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I think I mentioned on last week's show, I did try and have a little test of the software to work out how it worked and didn't realize I'd put it live. So I'm sitting here in my t-shirt and shorts, broadcasting on YouTube for about 45 minutes, just me sitting here like this. Was at my desk, fiddling around with settings, working out how to get it to work. And someone, I think David Lum, I think it was his name, he left a comment on there saying something along the lines of being the worst live video ever.
I think you and David had a very lucky escape.
Yes, yeah. Fortunately, only about 5 people saw it, but it's now gone, consigned to the recycle bin of the internet.
Well, it's nice to see you back and fully clothed.
Yes.
I see we've got a sort of, I didn't realize, a blue thing going on, haven't we?
Yeah, it's good for the cameras.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that.
Stops it washing us out. I have noticed my cheeks are slightly red.
Well, mine. Well, I've 2 days ago, as I said, I was sunbathing on the Mediterranean.
Yes.
Not wanting to make you feel particularly jealous, but that's my red cheeks explained.
Well, we need to get our makeup lady in, really, don't we?
Well, yeah. Well, that will arrive when I actually get. She'll arrive when I get my Winnebago. That's
out the front lawn.
Have you read my rider for this show? Obviously you haven't. There should be catering as soon as I walk through the door.
You get a cup of coffee as soon as you walk through the door. And I noticed you had a chocolate hobnob out of my Tupperware as well.
Maybe find out how to chocolate knob. No, please.
You do get looks up. You only had one.
Yeah, I did.
And you did go for a lovely jog around the garden as well
Yes.
to
yes.
to work it off.
Yes.
I noticed that you did go for a little jog.
Well, well, there we go.
I'm enjoying this. This is I could get used to doing this live every week.
Well, I suppose so. I mean, it's like being in a radio studio, really. But of course, it's a sort of television series, digital.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I can remember when I was a boy, which was
You can
sometime
remember
in-
that far back?
sometime in the middle of the last century, when cassettes first came out, and that was the most extraordinary thing. And I can remember at about the age of, well, how old was I? About 28, about 10 or 11,
About
making
68.
radio shows,
Yeah.
and being a DJ. And
Oh,
that sort of
yeah.
thing. I mean, if you'd shown me that this was possible in those days, the nearest we had to broadcasting, I can remember a friend of mine had a brother who used to have those sort of radio things where they used to phone up. What do they call them?
Oh, the ham radio
ham
type thing.
radio
Yeah. Well,
sort of thing. And
I used to sit there and I used to record the charts on there and off of the radio onto a tape and talk over and do I used to do all that, yeah.
with fluff.
See, this is my natural environment
Yeah.
in front of the microphone.
So,
It's
well,
not. It's really not.
here we are.
Here we are. So have you been reading anything else, doing anything else while you're on your cruise ship?
Yes,
I mean,
I
you've not been doing
have.
any proper work.
And I'll
have
tell you what
So-
I've been reading, and I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I've not finished it yet. And it's your recommendation, reviewed on the show a few weeks ago, and that's Steve Kavanagh's 13.
Yes.
What a great read that is.
How are you finding it?
I can't put it. I mean, it's amazing I'm here because I haven't been able to put it down. It really is just terrific, a wonderful original conceit, which I won't go into because you've got to read it. But of course, what's the wonderful tag for it? It's the murder's not on the
A serial killer's not on trial. He's on the jury.
Yeah, I mean,
incredible.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's a great read, brilliantly plotted, and really great fun. So yes, as soon as I've left here, I'll be rushing home to finish that off.
Yes, do. And I should also mention it again, because we are contractually obliged to do so twice on the show, that you can get 13 by Steve Kavanagh, or indeed any of the other books we talk about on the show by heading over to kobo.com, entering the promo code CRIME at the checkout, and the lovely folk at Kobo will give you 90% off without you even needing a digital reader or anything like that. You
So
can,
I didn't know we were contractually obliged to mention that twice.
I don't know how contractually obliged we are. I think I said we would do it twice,
All right.
and we
Well,
quite often forget to do it at all.
Why should we do it 3 times? Is that,
We get a bonus.
we can.
Yeah, bonus.
Yes.
So, yes, do head over there. You don't need to use an e-reader or anything like that. You can download onto your iPhone, your Android, your tablet, or anything else, basically. So you can go and read books there.
Right. Have we got any? Well, we've got people coming through.
We have. I'm going to jump back over to have a look at the comments we've got coming through. Kate Roberts says, good afternoon.
Good
to
afternoon,
you,
Kate.
Rebecca Bradley wants to know if she gets chocolate hobnobs with the free mug.
That's a good idea. You see, you've opened the doors now.
I know.
There's no stopping them.
Shouldn't have mentioned chocolate hobnobs, really, shouldn't I?
Not around my company.
No. Christina Reese says, good afternoon to us
Oh,
both.
hello, Christina. How are you?
Alison Valentine says, fantastic book. I think she's talking about
13?
13 by Steve Kavanagh. And Estelle Golden says she's been reading One Enchanted Evening by Anton Dubek at the moment. A complete change of genre. Just waiting for New Kempson Hardwick. Adam, no pressure. Thank you. Anton Dubek.
Is
yes.
that a murder mystery?
I don't know. I'm guessing that this is Anton Dubek who does the dancing.
It
Strictly
was only one
That's
Anton
it.
Dubek.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a common name, is it?
Yeah,
It's,
the Anton Dubek murder mysteries.
Yeah, that's a.
No, I think
a
it sounds
very
like an autobiography to me.
I don't know. I'm not entirely
Oh,
sure.
maybe he writes fiction.
It might be.
I know.
Tell you what, this is. Shall we have a look? One Enchanted Evening. That's
When we
this is
started this
the-
podcast, I didn't think we'd be actually looking up Anton Dubek's literary career,
well.
if indeed there is one.
This is the beauty of live. We
He's
can
a
just
wonderful
do this
dancer.
here.
No mistake in that.
It's a #1 bestseller in the dance category. So yes, I think it may well be. No, it says here, prepare to be swept off your feet by the romantic and irresistible debut novel from Anton Dubek,
Well,
set in London in 1936.
you could not be down with the foxtrot.
Well, it's got very good reviews. So
He's a very entertaining man, isn't he?
yes,
Got a lot of style and
yeah.
and panache. He's a wonderful dancer. I know. Well, another household strictly is always on.
You should do Strictly.
Oh,
You should.
I haven't got the.
Have they asked you? I know you
Strictly.
said they'd asked you to do something. I don't know if it's the jungle or if it was the.
No, it certainly wasn't the jungle.
Oh no, no.
No, they've asked me to do a couple of things over the years, and I've actually managed to extricate myself from that. I mean, but it's all the rage. This is there was a time 20 years ago when people said I couldn't possibly be seen to do that, but I think it's great. I think the British public love people getting up there and being prepared to make fools of themselves, or being very brave, or just being entertaining in a different format. So the only reason I haven't done them is because I don't think anyone would really be interested. But there you are.
Well, they're asking you to do them. Then
I'll stick to the cruises. I'll stick to the cruises.
I would
Thanks
love
very
to see you on Strictly. I've never watched it, mainly because I've just had no real interest in doing so. If you were on that, I would definitely watch that.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you might be waiting some considerable time.
Okay, should we give away a couple of mugs? I know we were saying
Yeah.
about our wonderful Partners in Crime
Yeah, why
mugs
not?
that we've been drinking out of for the past year.
Here we are.
Not giving these ones away, by the way. These are our ones, but we will get another 3 knocked up and sent out to people. Let's have a look. So the comments that we've had from various people. Alison Valentine's been very active. I
Thank
think
you,
we should give
Alison.
Alison a mug.
Well,
Alison, one is yours. We will be in touch to get your details. We'll send you a mug,
You're getting one whether you want it or not.
whether you want it or not. I liked Rebecca Bradley asking about whether we get chocolate hobnobs with a free mug.
I think that's I think that's a good
So
idea.
I think
She
we should-
definitely gets one. Well done.
Should probably give one to her. And who else should we go to?
Why don't we leave it to the very
let's
the end
give
of the
let's do one
show?
at the end. Yes.
That's just
yeah.
to keep the gauntlet down there.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people want a mug.
Yeah. Let's not get
Other
too let's not get too mug happy. We can we can always give some away later.
We make the mugs ourselves, of course. It's like the old potter's wheel that they used to show on television. We get the clay and then we enamel them, and
Oh,
whatever you do
absolutely.
with them, and
Yeah,
bake them, and
They're all handmade,
then-
of course. Yeah. Yeah. I
they're
mean,
quite nice. I'm not going to ask where you got them done, but they are quite nice. aren't
no,
they?
I'm not going to tell you because they're not paying us any money to do this.
Oh, right,
So
okay then. Right.
I won't name them.
That one done.
But
I'm out of coffee. I think you ought to know that.
well, yeah, we've not got long left now. So if you can hang on for
As
a
regular
coffee, you'll
listeners
get
know,
one.
I do treat this place like a regular Starbucks or
You probably have more
Costa.
coffee here than you do in a coffee shop, don't you?
certainly, and it's very good quality coffee, as we've mentioned on several times
Well, I'm pleased.
before. So yeah, you're very good at that, I have to say. And many other things. Anyway, tell us a bit more about Kempston.
Oh, you put me on the spot now. Well, it's my traditional murder mystery series. It's set in the modern day, but it's a bit of a kind of a pastiche to the traditional golden age of detective fiction. A little bit of a tongue-in-cheek look at
Yeah.
it. And yeah, this will be the 5th one in the series. You know what? I've not written a Kempston Hardwick book in, I think it will be either 4 or 5 years this year.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, at least 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's great to get back and to speak to the cantankerous old bugger again and get into his mind and yeah, it's funny. A couple of the scenes have had me laughing out loud, and I'm not quite sure what the etiquette is on laughing at one's own jokes as you're writing them.
Well,
But,
if you're on your own, there's nothing to stop you doing that.
No. But yeah, that's been brilliant fun. Also, one thing I was going to talk about is yesterday I had a trip to the theatre for the first time in God knows how long.
Did you? What did you go and see?
I went to see Pinter 6. Yes, I not technically crime related, but I do love Harold Pinter plays. Absolutely love them. And
Is that the one with Jane Horrocks and Cedar Imrie or Ron Cook and
uh,
Rupert Graves?
yes, though they've been doing various different ones. I don't think they're all in the same one.
They're
but yeah,
sort of a
there's-
company going for what was it? Celebration, The Room.
Yeah, they had yesterday was Celebration and Party Time.
Oh right,
See,
great. Yeah.
And I'm going again in 3 weeks.
Oh,
Actually,
Phil
to-
Davis is in that. Phil Davis and Ron Cook. They play the
Yes,
Essex.
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
White
and
Boys.
yeah, and it's absolutely brilliant. And in 3 weeks' time, I'm going back again to watch Pinter 7, which is No Man's Land, and no, it's not. It's Slight Ache and Dumbwaiter.
Wow.
And Dumbwaiter with Martin Freeman and Danny Dyer. Believe it or not.
Oh, that'll be right good.
That'll
real
be
good,
wicked. Yeah, if you don't mug me off.
Oh,
So
it's a
I'm
great.
really
It's,
looking
it's
forward
a
to that.
wonderful play. It's a wonderful play.
Yes, yeah, I
It's-
love pretty much everything the man ever wrote. So yeah, really enjoyed going along there.
Well, I noticed you have your complete works of Harold Pinter on the
Yes.
bookshelf there.
Yes. Some more comments coming through. I'm gonna just so you wonder what I'm laughing at. Alison Valentine says she can see us two doing Celebrity Antiques road trip.
What, being the antique?
Yes, I'll bring you
Yeah,
along as my
yeah.
my celebrity antique.
I wouldn't mind doing. Is that the one where you actually drive around in a sort of a vintage sports car or something
Quite
like that?
possibly, yeah. I've seen something on it at some. I'm not a great watcher of daytime TV, but I have seen something on there.
I've been known to watch Flog It.
Yes.
It's again. It's investigative.
Didn't you do a celebrity bargain hunt recently?
No, I haven't done one yet.
Oh,
I was approached to do one and I couldn't do it.
Oh, right.
But I would. Yeah, so here's the one. That was the one where you go in. No, that was another one. There's so many antiques programs, aren't there? Flog It is one of my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like it. I do like finding out how much something's worth or whatever. So if I did do one and was asked again, that's the sort of program I would do.
Good.
One antique makes another.
Yeah, so much we can get for you. Emma Nunes says she listens to books. Currently listening to EDAR. I think is how you pronounce that. EDAR.
See, this is something we've never looked into, really, is it? That so many people do listen to
audiobooks. Yeah,
audiobooks, and we ought to probably listen to a few of those and actually do some reviews because I don't myself. But many.
It's worth pointing out that Kobo now have an audiobook function. They do audiobooks too. You can get your audio from Kobo. So I think it's about £6 a month, something like that. So
what do we get for a bonus? That was the third mention.
I don't think we get anything for audio.
Don't we even get a mug from Kobo?
I can ask for one.
We could just exchange mugs from one company to the other.
We could. We'll send them some Partners in Crime mugs, and we'll get some Kobo mugs back, and we'll drink out of those every time we do a video episode, so we don't need to read out the Kobo ad.
This could be the beginning of the merchandising of Partners in Crime.
It could, yeah. The selling out of Partners in Crime. Yeah, we could.
Little Adam Croft dolls available. And, at point of sale.
I would love that. So yes, I think we're probably getting on for about there, aren't we? We've got another message that came through from Leslie Coltieri, who says she's enjoying the banter. She went to the same secondary school as you, apparently.
Oh, really?
She
How
lives up
you?
in North Yorkshire. Loves
That's a long way
novels.
away from. That's a long way away from Leon C.
It is, yeah.
Oh, I wonder where she lives. Oh, well, hello. I'm glad to.
She said she loves crime novels, and she's reading a novel set in the northeast, a DCI Ryan series.
Oh, yes,
which is Don't Tell Me.
I'm not going to because I forgot myself.
It's the Bridge Stocks.
Well, of course it is.
Yes, I think. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's the great RCs.
The great RC Bridge Stocks. Yes. Yeah, keep up the good work, you two, she says. Rebecca Radley says she listened to 70 audiobooks last year.
Wow,
I
that's
think
something, isn't it?
I think I've listened to about 7 in my life. They take forever. Estelle says her coffee would taste even better in one of our mugs, which is good because I think did we announce her as a winner of one already?
I think she's actually figured a way of getting a mug very well.
Yeah, you can have a mug, Estelle. There we go. You've got one.
We're easy with compliments, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're absolute knockover.
Yeah, and we've got tons of mugs. We've got boxes knocking. No, we haven't. Christina says audiobooks kept her sane on the plane to Australia. I can imagine that would be a pretty.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to get one.
You?
I mean, I've done a couple, really, and they do take a long time to do because they take the time they take, and certainly with the number of mistakes that I usually make when I'm recording them, they take even longer than normal. But I will do because it's a whole different thing because it's not just the book; it's the interpretation of the reader.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about this countless times about watching someone on screen, and you say, well, that's not how I see it. The same must happen when you actually are sort of listening to, I don't know, a Morse book, a Colin Dexter book, and you hear a voice that is not the voice you thought. It's certainly not John Thor, unless he actually did them, and I don't think he did. So it's quite an interesting thing. So I'm going to actually listen to a couple over the next month and come back with my thoughts for what they're worth.
Good. Hello to Judith Waterhouse, who sent us a message saying she's really enjoying the podcast and loves it when we're on video because apparently we're both naturals and so funny looking apparently because we're not funny when we're audio only.
Are we on a mug?
So
can she get one?
We could send one, yes.
Right,
I think,
okay, that's it.
Yeah.
You see,
we met Judith.
I said we were easy.
We met Judith, didn't we, last year up at the?
Of course we did. Yes.
Up at the what's it thing in Scarborough, Books by the Beach.
Up at the what's it?
Books by the Beach. She introduced herself to us as a regular listener. So hello to Judith. We also had some more messages coming in from Tracy Tonkinson says, and this is not a phrase I've heard before, but I think I know what it means. She says, Smashy and Nicey need to look to their laurels with you two loose on YouTube. Love the banter.
Oh, I love that. The smashy and nicey of crime. I quite like that. We should be. We could
Good
call
day,
ourselves
everybody.
Smash and grab. That's what we should do. Hey, partner. At number 1, Val McDermott this week. Peter James coming in at number 2.
We should do that. Yeah, we should read the Sunday Times bestseller list in
Yeah.
that voice.
Yeah, that's it.
Joseph Asanisi says the live stream is great, something our crime fiction community needs more of. Well done, especially the live action whistling. And I'm not just saying that for a mug straight from the potter's wheel.
No.
Says.
Yes, well, you're going to get one now, so that's 5 mugs.
Give them 5 mugs.
You're starting to sweat here, I can see.
I'm thinking these are costing me £4 each.
No, that's it. It's worth every penny. So you get a mug as well. There we are.
Alison, on the subject of audiobooks, I was going to say I've narrated some of my own audiobooks, and Alison Valentine has said she listened to Rough Justice on the audiobook recently, which is one of mine, which I narrated, and she said my take on Wendy's voice was interesting to say the least. Yes. Yes,
I've not heard it, but I can imagine.
I'm not too good on my my female voices.
I'm definitely going to listen to it now.
I might play a clip on next week's show.
I'd love to hear you.
I own the copyright on that, so I don't need to ask anybody. But I'll do that because, yeah, it is difficult doing female voices. And
are you a method audio reader? Do you change costumes depending on the different characters or
get
hats
through
or
the
something
bloody
like
thing
that?
as quickly as possible? To be honest with you, but yes, I actually my Night in Coldbath series is now being narrated by somebody else. The first one's due to go live fairly soon. Actually, he's almost finished on that. So from With a Vengeance, which is book 7 onwards, will be narrated by somebody else. Called Adrian.
Adrian.
Yeah, it's a chap called Adrian. He's taking on the Adrian James, taking over the series from me, because it takes a huge amount of time to do an audio book. You can be, sort of 3 weeks of solid recording, which I just don't have time for. So he's taking it over, and he's really, really good. He's ex BBC announcer and various other things. So yeah, the series is in very safe hands. I have heard the early rushes, I suppose you'd say, and
well, you could
brilliant.
say you'd be wrong, but I mean it's.
Leslie is back, the one you went to school with, or went to your school. Apparently you played in the same band. She says, do you remember John Weeks, the mad Welsh teacher?
Oh, I do. I was talking about him the other day. It was wonderful. We had an award-winning brass band with John Weeks. I was telling this story last week for reasons best known to myself. At the age of 11, Mum and Dad asked me what I wanted for my birthday present, and I said a trumpet. And be careful what you wish for. And I got one and got it out, made a few farty noises down it, and put it back in its
and
case
the trumpet
for a year. And then John Weeks, this wonderful Welsh music teacher, joined the school and just started. He was just brilliant, full of energy. He taught me the trumpet and formed this wonderful brass band, which I played in for 7 years. And of course, I remember you now. Absolutely, it was great fun, and he was a lovely man and happy times. So yes, I do remember. Well,
you've played your trumpet on TV as well.
I have. Well, my wife keeps the trumpet in the bathroom now, and so it's just done by the shower, so it goes unplayed. Because I have to say, my musicianship as regarding the old brass horn is not fully appreciated in my household. So there it remains, forlorn in the corner of the bathroom, which is probably just as well.
Does it not get rusty in the bathroom?
No, strange enough, it doesn't.
The trumpets rust. They're brass, aren't they?
Well, I suppose not,
brass,
because
steel,
it has to sort of. I think it's lacquered to avoid that. And whether it's lacquered inside, I don't know, because that's where all the moisture. But let's not go into this. It's a little bit. So
if you hear any strange noises coming from Bob's downstairs bathroom, you know what they are now.
That's it. I wonder what poison you could put in a mouthpiece of a trumpet.
Well, that's one for a future book, isn't it?
That's it. Yes.
That's one for a book. Well, I think we are about there. I think that would do, won't it? I've had enough. Have you had enough?
Well, I think you've had enough, because you're thinking £4 a mug.
I know. I think if he gives away any more, that'll be our sponsorship money.
That's it. Yes. Come on down, get your mugs.
No more live videos, that'll be for sure.
So yeah, so the mug offer does that end now? Is it officially finished?
No, I think we can give away some more on future shows. I think we can do that. But I think 5 is enough for today.
Yes, well done. Congratulations on suggesting it. I think it's been a very good thing, even though at the end of the show there's only one person feeling a bit of a mug.
Well, of course we have to pay for those mugs.
So it's we.
Again, let's mention
Yeah,
enter that promo code there at the bottom of your screen, Crime, at the checkout on Kobo if you want to buy a book, and they'll give you 90% off, which is very lovely of them. And they don't need to do it. Well, they do because they signed a contract now saying they would.
Oh, that's very nice. Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah.
And putting up with our faces as well as our voices for once. Let us know what you think. Well, you have been letting us know. And for anyone who's actually just sent us messages and emails, and anyone who is now looking forward to getting their mugs through the post, thanks very much for listening. We really appreciate the fact that you tune into us every week. And
I mean, you're absolutely mad, but we love you for it.
Yeah, we do. And I hope between this daft banter that we guide you in some small way to what's happening in the world of crime fiction and lead you to much happy reading.
Would you like to say goodbye on your own dedicated camera?
Yes. Thanks very much for listening and watching. And we look forward to meeting again when we meet again. And that'll be interesting. What I'd love to do is we'll get an app probably a couple of years' time where you can actually see everyone who's listening. One of those sort of boards.
That'd be scary, yeah.
Yeah, it would be scary.
Yeah, you're not here next week, though, are you?
No, I'm not here next week. I'm off again.
I think it's looking like we're going to have a special guest presenter.
That's
with
a relief.
Me.
That's a relief. I can hear the sighs of relief.
Yeah.
Look, one of the messages has just come through. Phew, thank goodness for that. So
I'm going to say goodbye on my own specialized camera.
Oh,
Hello, goodbye to you there. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week on not live, of course, but we'll be on iTunes as always, and on Stitcher and Google Play, and on you can listen on YouTube and all the usual channels. And we've also got some other very exciting things coming up this year, which we can't talk about, but some things that we're currently getting signed off on, stuff to come from Partners in Crime, which is going to be brand new, things that haven't been done before, extra special events, and some new features coming to the show. So it's going to be a big year.
It is. We're looking forward to it. We may find out why those things haven't been done before, but you can't fault us for trying. So, do you think we should wave goodbye, because we can do that?
We can, can't we?
Should we do? I mean,
shall we? Let me just cue the credits up, ready to go after we've waved. And if we wave at the camera now, bye-bye.
Bye.
Partners in Crime was presented by Adam Croft and Robert Dawes and produced by Adam Croft. The theme tune was by the Caesareans. The Partners in Crime logo and imagery were designed by Stuart Beisch. Partners in Crime is sponsored by Kobo, your favourite local bookshop, perfected.